Hey, welcome back to the Ping Pong Flix Show. My name is Chris Wong. I got a few DC updates for you today, mainly about Zack Snyder stuff, because that's really all the updates that are coming today. The first thing is that there's a DC presence over at the People's Teen Choice Awards, including shows and a movie being nominated over there, in which you can vote. Also, Army of the Dead anime series is coming out, and they've cast a ton of people for that anime series, including the animation studio that is going to be animating those series. What does that have to do with DC? You'll find out. Also, HBO Max adds 2 new movies that I am so excited to go and re-watch on that streaming service, and I think you will too. Staub kind of maybe hints at the actual title of the Justice League Snyder Cut. Maybe, let's take a look at that. Ray Porter's, how is he doing additional photography for Zack Snyder's Justice League, or is he done? And finally, Henry Cavill. Did he just hint that there's something after Zack Snyder's Justice League? Let's find out. But before all of that, I need to thank my newest member of the Ping Pong Flix Show, Dobie. Thank you so much for joining the Ping Pong Flix Show, along with the entire family of the Ping Pong Flix Show. You guys and girls are the lifeline of the Ping Pong Flix Show. Thank you so much. And of course, I have to thank all my subscribers for subscribing and watching pretty much a daily DC content so far. Now, on with the show. Finally, let's get to the DC presence at People's Choice Awards. They've listed all the nominations for DC, the series first, DC's Legends of Tomorrow, Supergirl, and The Flash are all on here as nominated for People's Choice Awards. Here you can go ahead yourself to this website, and I'll link in the description under sources below, where you can go ahead and vote. But this is all under the Sci-Fi Fantasy Show of 2020. If you look in movies, there's really only one movie that DC could possibly have put in there. Birds of Prey and the Fantabulous Emancipation of One Harley Quinn is the one DC movie that is in the movie of 2020. Obviously, there's not much here because of the whole COVID situation, but at least we get a DC movie to be put into that. Next up, Army of the Dead animation, and what this could mean for DC animation from Zack Snyder and Jay Oliva. Let's get into the actual news first. This came out today on Netflix themselves had actually announced this. Army of the Dead Las Vegas looks like a Zack Snyder party. We've never seen one. Thank you to the Zack Snyder Bible. These are the cast of characters, cast list who are going to be voicing the main characters for Army of the Dead Las Vegas. Joe Manganiello, Christian Slater, Harry Lennox, Ross Butler, Anya Chalotra, I think I said that wrong, Vanessa Hudgens, Jenna Malone, Yetide Badaki, Christina Wren, Monica Barbaro, and Nolan North, who is, Nathan Drake fame. So this is awesome. These are a giant cast of star power right here. It's great to see all these Zack Snyder film alumni coming over and helping them out for Army of the Dead, the animated series. Jay Oliva even talked about it, linked the Variety article in terms of that press release of the cast for one of the many awesome projects I've got coming up. Zack Snyder's Army of the Dead Netflix anime series adds Christian Slater, Joe Manganiello. Now, interesting there that he did say one of the many awesome projects I've got coming up, and that I think is a key words there that you should really pay attention to. Not only is he doing the Valhalla thing over on Netflix, but he may have also teased a whole bunch of maybe DC projects that he may be doing. And if this is any indication that they're really going full force, Stone Quarry is going to develop animations for multiple IPs. This is the indication right here. And they're not afraid to use star power to become those cast members, right? And not only that, what type of animation? Now we know that Medus Arts, I think that's how you say their name, we are proud to be the animation studio behind the new Zack Snyder project, Army of the Dead Las Vegas. The series is a spin-off series that serves as a prequel to Zack Snyder's upcoming 2021 zombie action heist film, Army of the Dead. What can we know about this studios? Well, Zack Snyder Bible once again said the animation studio that will work on Army of the Dead Las Vegas is Medusa Arts. Their credits include Injustice 2, Mortal Kombat 10, Middle Earth Shadow of War, Battlefront 2, and much, much more. In fact, if you go to Medusa Arts, website, you can go down the list and they show you everything they've worked on, mostly pretty much games, but fantastic cinema for games. I mean, some of the best cinematic parts of these games is developed over at this studio, including Injustice 2. What a great way to actually look at the quality that they could use. Now, it doesn't mean that this studio will actually be doing the DC animation for possible upcoming animations that Zack Snyder is going to develop over the Stone Quarry, either for HBO Max, but it does give you an idea that this is the quality they're going for. If Army of the Dead Las Vegas is going to look anything like this, it's not going to be anime, but it's actually 3D animation. I am really, really intrigued. I want to see what that looks like, because it does give you an idea for what's to come for DC animation. And what do I mean by DC animation? You may have remembered this when Mark Hughes wrote this article back in July 30th of 2020. He said this: while we await Zack Snyder's Justice League and any other possible live-action Snyderverse projects, HBO Max should make HBO Max animated films miniseries to expand and maintain Snyder's vision amid pandemic and live-action restrictions. Now, in this article, Mark Hughes talked about all the different animations that they could possibly do. He does say, preface saying that it's not going to be Justice League 1, 2, and 3. Whatever was going to be developed as live action projects will be live action projects. So don't worry about possibly seeing Justice League go beyond in animated form. I mean, that could still happen, but that's not what he's trying to say. What he's trying to say is the spin-offs, the different things that they could kind of grow the Snyderverse even bigger, right? Imagine different stories that included Superman, Batman, or Supergirl, even having Supergirl come in, right? And I can only imagine what this looks like in my head. But with the fact that the studio that they just hired to do their animated zombie movie, right, or zombie anime series, is this studio, I can't help but imagine what does DC animation is going to look like over on HBO Max. I mean, I can only imagine maybe the cinematics from this type of quality, but even better, imagine action scenes, DC animated action scenes, 3D animated at this high intensity, high level. I mean, if you go back and watch Injustice 2, and I mean watch, not just play, but watch. Go on YouTube, type in Injustice 2 cinematics only or Justice 2 movie. You'll get over a 2.5 hour epic action adventure with the characters that we all know and love: Superman, Batman, Supergirl, Brainiac, Catwoman, Green Arrow, Harley Quinn. I mean, this is amazing, right? If this is the studio they're going to hire, if this is the level of quality that they're trying to achieve with the Army of the Dead animated series, can you even imagine what they'll try to attempt to do on HBO Max with a bigger budget, with a bigger IP, and that Warner or actually DC really wants to make sure that is the highest level for their product, for their brand. It has to be top tier. And as we know, Zack Snyder is top tier. Look at the Legends of Ga'Hoole movie. I mean, that is top tier. And he's not going to strive for less. And he's definitely going to go full blown with the DC brand if he's able to do that, if Stone Quarry actually attempts to do that over on HBO Max. So now that we know what they're attempting to do with Army of the Dead, the Las Vegas animated series, with the level of casting they've done, all those people that we know and love, that being the major voices of those roles in that animated series, also the type of studios that they're picking to make that type of animation, to make quality animation, my mind's going wild. I'm thinking of drumming up stories left and right on what they could possibly accomplish over on HBO Max with DC animation. And I am superbly, utterly excited to see what happens with DC animation on HBO Max. But of course, we can't just wait for all those DC animation. We have to appreciate all the DC content that's over on HBO Max right now. But there are a couple movies that we're missing, especially now that we have Batman v Superman, Dawn of Justice, the Ultimate Edition, and soon to be Zack Snyder's Justice League. What happened to the very first one, the prequel? They have added Man of Steel and a bonus, John Constantine, Keanu Reeves playing as Constantine for HBO Max. These are one of my favorite DC movies, and I'm very happy, and I'm sure you'll be happy to actually be able to stream both movies now on HBO Max. And imagine that, right? I could probably see that there's gonna be like a kind of a category where you can actually see Man of Steel, Batman v Superman Ultimate Edition, and also Zack Snyder's Justice League right next to it. Imagine just going through that all in one day. I don't know if you could do it all in one day because that's a lot of hours, but that'd be amazing to be in its own category. Zack Snyder's 5-part or more. You know, I don't know how big his Snyderverse is going to be along with all the animated stuff, but I think this is going to be an amazing time. If you are a Snyder fan, definitely when it's available in your country, get HBO Max and appreciate what HBO Max has done. AT&T, thank you so much for supporting the Snyder Cut fandom and supporting Zack Snyder and making all our wishes come true on HBO Max. Now, speaking about Zack Snyder and Zack Snyder's Justice League, Clay Staub had put out a poster today. You may remember that a while back he had put up 2 posters. One was Zack Snyder's Justice League, and the other one was Justice League, the Snyder Cut Ultimate Edition. And he says, you can't be, too safe. You might, have to put 2. I'm kind of paraphrasing what he actually said. But he teased this poster today, and it is just one title. As a fan who visually thinks aloud, I'm partial to the bold. Thus, hashtag the Snyder Cut. Zack Snyder's Justice League, and in 2021, only on HBO Max. And I'm wondering, is this a hint? Is this a tease, Clay? Are you teasing us that this is indeed the title now? It is finalized. Zack Snyder has always wanted. This is the title he wants. This was the title he was trying to get. There was some legal things that he had to go through, but he thinks he can get it. I'm wondering if this is a tease. This is a hint that he finally was able to get Zack Snyder's Justice League. Now, I know HBO Max is always pretty much titled everything on YouTube and all the clips and everything Zack Snyder's Justice League. So I think the hiccup there was with Warner Brothers, and I think maybe they finally got the go-ahead in order to use that title. But there is one little thing, though. I think there may have been maybe a little compromise that probably have happened, is that before it was Zack Snyder's Justice League. But now the Zack Snyder is much smaller. It's Zack Snyder's Justice League. So I'm wondering if that was a little bit of a compromise there, or this is just Clay's preference, or just Clay's poster that he put up, that he made. We'll have to wait and see what the full title is coming when HBO Max launches it in 2021. And I really hope for Zack Snyder's sake that he really wanted Zack Snyder's Justice League. It just makes sense. It just shows you that this is his world, his Justice League. This is his Snyderverse, right? It's not like he's taking the IP. He's kind of just borrowing it, right? This is his version, his universe, and it will clearly, differentiate this universe from maybe when Warner Brothers wants to make their own Justice League somewhere in the theatrical verse, and they want to make a different one. Well, you'll be able to say, okay, that is Warner Brothers Justice League. This is Zack Snyder's Justice League. This is Zack Snyder's universe. I get it. That just makes total sense. So I hopefully that he was able to get that title. And if that was just a little compromise that he wanted to get that title, then maybe that's what happened. But in any case, I think it's still really cool to have it nicely laid out, all 4 words. The full name, Zack Snyder's Justice League. It just fits. It's just really good. Next up, we know there's additional photography this month, right? There's a couple of people that are going over to somewhere to film additional photography, including Henry Cavill as Superman, Ben Affleck as Batman, Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman, and of course Ray Fisher as Cyborg, right? But I guess we also had to ask, is like, What is there more Darkseid? Do you think Darkseid's going to have any more additional photography filming this month? Well, Ray Porter actually responded to that, to this fan right here. Hello, Ray Porter. Will you be on additional Snyder Cut filming this month? And Ray Porter says, my stuff is completed. So that is it. His stuff is done. Whatever he needed to do, whether he already filmed it, additional photography already, or he didn't need to come back for shooting anything, and everything he shot back in 2016 was enough. That was all it. That was all he needed. 2016 or 2017, I'm not sure, but that was enough for him, and that was all the scenes he needed to do for Darkseid. That was already ready to go. It just needed to be animated. It just needed to make Darkseid's model and things like that. But all the motion capture and all the voiceovers were already done for that. So if anybody is wondering if Darkseid's going to have additional scenes, it looks like it appears like it's not going to have that at all, unless Zack Snyder, and I think so, probably shot everything he needed for Darkseid in those scenes. And I'm really curious. Are we gonna get that part where Darkseid kills Lois? Or are we gonna see that in Justice League Part 2? Speaking of Justice League Part 2, Henry Cavill talked a little bit about Zack Snyder's Justice League, and I'm wondering if he actually hinted at more after Zack Snyder's Justice League, right? This is actually coming from Heroic Hollywood. Don't worry. There's an actual quote from Henry Cavill, and I'll read it to you right here. Henry Cavill had this to say about the highly anticipated director's cut on the Happy, Sad, Confused podcast. He said this: I'm just really excited to see his vision realized. He got to be the train. I think it's only fair that train gets to reach its station, which he was aiming for. And I think it's important that vision is realized. Whether you agree with it or not, it doesn't matter. It's a storyteller's, it's a filmmaker's right to have that vision realized. I'm excited to see it. I'm excited to see what that vision was and how it looks. Zach's got the advantage of hindsight now. It's going to be even better. Now, that's very political and nice of Henry Cavill to say. He's always very good at balancing the sides and left and right, and trying to be the neutral person in this whole thing. And genuinely, I think he should be excited because, he's not able to put on the cape anytime soon, so you might as well join the Snyder Cut, in which you are one of the stars over there. But this is the part that really is interesting. He said this: I just want to see a good movie or a series of movies. Did he just hint at more? I just want to see a good movie or a series of movies. Now, I'm wondering if this is, and I don't have the podcast, but I'm wondering if that was a misinterpretation. Did he says a series or movies, or did he actually say series of movies? Because in his mind, I think the director's cut, the Snyder Cut, is essentially a movie. Like a lot of people still thinking it is a movie. It is broken up into a 4-part miniseries, but essentially it's a giant movie, right? And so, in his mind, he's thinking that Zack Snyder's Justice League is a movie. Then, and he read the script, he knows what happens, right? He probably knows by now, I think, and that's why he's saying that there is more, part 2, part 3. And I think he's kind of hinting at that because in the back of his mind, he probably just blurted out because he knows that there is more. And maybe Zack Snyder actually pitched, like, not just part 1, but he also pitched part 2 and 3 to HBO Max to tell them that, look, this is not just a one and done. What you're investing in is something that is going to get people talking. People are going to love this. People are going to want more. And there's going to be more opportunities for big names to be on HBO Max, to get more subscribers on HBO Max, to get that talking, to refocus the IP into a multiverse and actually explode it, right? And I can do this. I can do Justice League Part 1, Part 2, Part 3. I can give you the Snyderverse. I can give you animation. I can give you this and that. And I think the whole pitch when he did that was probably explosive to the point that they were already saying, okay, that sounds awesome. Look at all the engagement. Look at all the people. Look how much it trended and things like that. We're in. Here's $70 million. Go and do it. And then after all said and done, come back and we'll refocus and see where put money into investing in other things. But I think at that point, they probably already had Henry Cavill already, talking to Henry Cavill, says, hey, if this goes well, would you be up for shooting a little bit more for, the series of movies that is coming after that? And he'd be like, and I think that's why he said yes. He says, all right, well, I got a job, I might as well get a job. I have a series of Witcher, and maybe there's more Sherlock Holmes, maybe, but might as well capture the other IP. We might as well capture the other big starring role, which is Superman. You might as well go Zack Snyders Justice League Part 1, Part 2, and Part 3, and then maybe even voice some animated things down the line as well. But I think that is pretty awesome to hear that. I think he's actually hinting that. Like, that's probably one of the slip-ups that Henry Cavill doesn't always do. He's always very political, always to the point, and very vague and very dismissive. But for him to actually see that, to say that, I just want to see a good movie or a series of movies, and that to me is hinting, definitely like 100% hinting to me that there is going to be more. He already knows there's going to be more after Zack Snyder's Justice League Part 2, Part 3. And I can't wait. This is becoming a crazy turnaround for us Zack Snyder fans, especially people of the OG DCEU. They just need to get the air cut and they'll be all golden. But just to see that Zack Snyder able to complete his Snyderverse on HBO Max and possibly adding more to the pot with DC animation at the highest quality they can ever think of, I am ecstatic. I'm so excited to explore that part of HBO Max, along with Justice League Dark from J.J. Abrams, Zatanna, Constantine, the CW shows, and anything else out in the movies as well. It's an explosive DC entertainment. This is our time. This is our time, and I can't. I'm so happy to be a part of it. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for subscribing. Like I said, if you love this daily dose of DC content of movies, shows, and video games, please click the like button. Please hit that subscribe button. Ring that notification bell. Keep this hot dog light on, and I'll see you next time.